Hello, everyone. Silver here. We're doing a little bit of Idle Slayer. This is just so I can kind of like chat without using my brain. Uh, but yeah, I'm kind of like I'm genuinely thinking about like if I should do like a sponsor because of course it would be nice to make money. It would be very nice to make money uh doing this. Doing this kind of stuff. But it's like, would me having a sponsor to me kind of like defeat the point of what I do is my question. Uh, it's just like an honest question. I typically pose to myself when I'm thinking about this. Uh, do I have anything else here to kill? No, I don't. Um, it's it's honestly something I do think about, like, what do you know? What would I be willing to do? Basically, you know what I mean? It's one of those things where I try to debate with myself on what, where would I draw a line necessarily? Uh, because it wouldn't be bad to have a sponsor, for sure. But I'm pretty sure if you have like a sponsor, you're not necessarily allowed, I guess, to talk negatively. I would think. I don't know because I wouldn't want to like say, "Oh yeah, a game is good," if it's not good. If I don't enjoy the game, I wouldn't talk about it. Again, that's probably why I want to try like Realm of Pixels first before I go for like getting sponsored by them. Um, which I feel is perfectly fine. Being like, yeah, no, uh, I'm gonna try this game to see if it's something that I'd want to do. Uh, also, but just been thinking about like what other things I could do for like my Twitch and stuff. Like, uh, because I do want to. I've been thinking about what to add to like my. Uh, you know how most Twitch streamers have these. They have this weird store that if you're watching, you can like redeem stuff. Uh, well, I feel like I could like I just don't know what to put in there. And I do want to have some custom like elements for all of that. Uh which would take money. I just don't know how much it would take. Uh that's why like tips and stuff would be specifically preferred because for that at least because that's something I could do even if my PC is garbage right now. Is that kind of stuff. Um And I know in my last video I was talking about, oh, with like the donations, they would probably be going toward getting me a new phone. I don't mean that in like, oh, I need to get like a fucking $500 iPhone or anything, or even fucking close to that. I don't do uh that kind of shit. I don't do necessarily uh big name brand phones. Like my current phone, when I bought it, it is a Galaxy, but when I bought it, it was I bought it outright. It's a prepaid phone. It's a prepaid smartphone. And I bought it for $80. It was a bit more expensive than my other phones because at the time I was able to work. So I could kind of like spend that on it. And it lasted me a very long time. It's been years by now that I've had this phone. Uh, it's been years since I've had this. So it's not like, oh, I get a new phone every time a new phone comes out. I'm not that type of person. Uh, I'm very frugal with my money. Uh, except when it comes to like my cats. With my cats, I'll spend the money that I need to in order to keep them, you know, well fed and taken care of because they deserve it. Because they're just cats. They don't know no better. They don't know nothing. There's just nothing going on in those little fucking heads. Uh, but genuinely, like, I with that in particular, with the like, oh yeah, the first thing with like tip donations, I would probably save up for is a phone. That is a necessity because my phone is my second monitor. That's how I interact with chat. And currently, my phone, even the LEDs are going out. Uh, it's that old at this point. And I never buy expensive phones. I don't like expensive phones. I don't need the the newest and the most like I don't need the most brand new phone that exists. I don't need the latest model. I don't need none of that. Uh which I could probably add like that to my throne as well, but I feel like it's less likely that my throne stuff is actually going to necessarily be taking off unless I can get bigger at least. Uh, so I don't expect to get much with that. But after I do the phone thing, most of what I would get uh, from like donations and stuff would 100% be going into like custom assets for stream. Uh, because if like let's say my model rigging doesn't get like crowdfunded, I would 100% be like saving up for that. But in smaller terms, I would probably be going toward like more toward trying to get what is it? Trying to get like custom assets for my tips page, my redemption store, because I'm also still trying to figure out what I want all the redeems to be. Uh, as well as like just art in general. I'm not too terribly like into getting a ton of art myself, but I feel like it would be good for like branding purposes, I would say, where people can see like, oh yeah, hey, this person streams. They have a very nice male model. It's not often you see a male VTuber or a male VTuber with a male model. We are a rarity. Nope. I fell. Okay. I don't know what happened there. My brain was like, nah, you're not making it. But yeah, no, it's like I do uh I do want to get like more art and stuff. Because then I can actually like customize a lot more stuff. I can customize a lot more of my my actual like setup for stream and everything. Uh Maybe getting custom like slides and things for my stream, like custom transitions and stuff. Uh I think it'd be nice. Cuz like I would want it to be kind of like a mix of me and the character. Because again, while being a VTuber, it's not like my name is not out there. Uh which means you might be able to find out how I look or what I look like. Uh so it's like yeah. I want it to be a little bit of a mix of me and the character that I have as my picture, as my model. So like I was genuinely thinking at one point my my stream slides and stuff or my stream stuff in the beginning like oh, stream is starting, be right back, that kind of stuff. Would kind of like show a bit of who I am as well. Cuz the character that I'm using is a character I've owned for a long time named Arash. Me playing FGO, a lot of people would think, oh, so you base it off of Arash from FGO. I actually based it off of the idea of Arash. Not based off of FGO, Arash. I was like, oh, he's a sniper. Arash sounds like a good name. And then I remembered FGO, or Fate, rather, in general. And I was like, fuck. I basically just stole the idea for, like, the name. The character is completely different. He's not the same as Arash from FGO. Because originally he was kind of uh, like a mentally unwell type of mercenary uh, who like had very small moments of like mental clarity where he knew he was like kind of fucking insane, but he didn't always, kind of like address that, I guess. Um, but yeah, no, it's genuinely I am I I do think about what else I can like add to stream and stuff while I'm not streaming. I've been working on the redeem store. I just don't have any like custom assets to put in for the redeems currently. Uh, so it doesn't feel like quite as much of me, I would say. It's just like, oh yeah, hey, here's basically what you'll see on every fucking stream. Like, oh yeah, here's a thing that's like, oh yeah, show me to tell me to stretch, all of that bullshit. Tell me to stretch, tell me to drink water, uh, that kind of thing. That's what I have right now. It's not done yet, but that's like the stuff I'm currently working with because I'm like I don't have any ideas for very unique ones currently. Ones that not everybody fucking has necessarily. Not like shitting on anybody who has those, but everybody basically has those. Uh, those same like redeem rewards of, especially if you are a like gaming streamer. It's like, oh yeah, stretch, yada yada, all of that jazz. Do you like jazz? Sorry, sorry. The B movie. It's just it lives rent free. B movie lives rent free. Uh, but yeah, no, I really do want to kind of like make the stream as best as it can be, like as good as it can get. But I don't know necessarily how. Uh, I don't know what people would want to see or how to kind of like represent it more as like I'm not just a streamer necessarily. I am more like a you know, I'm just me. Cuz I don't want it to be like super parasocial where it's like, oh yeah, uh like with some people how they're like some indie streamers I saw are like, "Oh yeah, no, you're my chat is my family" type of thing. Like, can we all just agree we're kind of strangers on the internet, just all coming together? We're not we're not necessarily family. I'd play with people. I do play with a lot of the people that are in my chat because most of them are my friends, actually. To be fair. Uh, but that's because I like to get to know people, even if I do have a very low social battery. That's something that it's not quite obvious with me doing streams. I do have a very low social battery. Uh, I'm actually a very introverted person. So it's this originally when I first started the idea of like doing YouTube and streaming, uh, it was kind of to get out of my social bubble. Because I was always very kept inside. I was a very sheltered person because it was very hard for me to actually go outside and be a normal kid due to health reasons. Because I had severe asthma where even like pollen could throw me into an asthma attack that would make me like pretty much not good. Like I would not be good. Uh, I did go to a normal school. However, there were often times where I would just not be able to actually do my classes properly because of my asthma. Because if I was like exposed to things that would agitate my senses, like my nose or my breathing. Perfume specifically was a big problem. Uh, Especially in high school, perfume was a big problem for me because I had it for a long time. I didn't grow out of asthma until I was like in my 20s. I started smoking before I had actually grown out of my asthma fully, and I feel like my smoking helped a little bit more than it hurt with actually I genuinely feel like it helped a lot more than it hurt me. Which is weird to say. Because it really did. I don't know why, but after I started smoking, I was less having problems. I was genuinely having less problems with my breathing. Uh, it's weird. It's a very weird thing. I can't recommend that. I cannot recommend it because it's not good for you. Anybody with asthma should stay away from any kind of like cigarettes or that kind of stuff. But I think the when I started smoking, it's just like not correlated to me growing out of my asthma whatsoever. I think I was just growing out of it at the time. I had started smoking because I started smoking in like college. Near the end of high school, I like had tried it, and in college, I started really smoking because I was like super stressed out with a lot of stuff. Because I could not afford college. I just couldn't afford it at all. Uh, and then my college also was like, oh, hey, fuck you. And basically made me drop out. So I never finished my college. I was going in for computer technology. Uh, or computer tech. But that's just like some knowledge about the streamer here. That's some lore. Uh, some other lore that most people don't actually know is uh at one point I was like gonna go into the military. Uh, I was thinking about it. Uh, and I was applying for the Air Force. And through doing that, I did have to take the ASVAB, which I had made around about like a 96 on the ASVAB, which made every single branch, immediately started contacting me as soon as that shit went live. Uh, because that type of score lets you get even like fucking nuclear physicist level jobs. Like, apparently, even though they had absolutely fuck all to do with like nuclear fission and shit, like the test had nothing to do with it. It was just like a basic aptitude test. really, it was just a basic aptitude test, testing like common knowledge and like mechanical knowledge. Uh, which I've always been into machines anyways, so I could easily do the mechanical side of it. Always taking shit apart as a kid. Uh, when I was a very small child, I took apart a door and put it back together, like a screen door. Took it apart, put it back together in my babysitter's house, uh, which my babysitter was very upset about. But I did put it back together properly. And this was like small child. Like, I don't remember this. I've only been told stories about it. Like, I have vague memories of doing shit like that. Because, like, I used to have a Buzz Lightyear. This was before they could, like, talk, really. Uh, this was, like, way back in Toy Story 1. Like, fresh Toy Story 1 uh, release stuff. I had a Buzz Lightyear. And I would just take it apart, put it back together constantly. It was always in pieces and then put back together before my parents found out, or my parent, because I was raised mostly by my mom. Uh, who I call my dad is actually my stepdad, but he's been my father for like most of my life now at this point. So sure they don't get along all the time, but I can't. That's not my place to speak on it. They're meh. It's not my place to speak on why they're still together, I would say. And I mean, there's not really anybody they could not be with at this point. Even if they despise each other sometimes, they're like, who else are they going to be with? Is the the idea there. Oop, chest on. But yeah, no. I guess this is more of a lore episode. You get a lore dump from Silver of the Tategami. Oh, excuse me. I'm just like, with a game like this, I can kind of like no brain. So, oh, excuse me. I could sit here, not think about anything while I'm just speaking, which feels nice. Uh, I'm just like, I guess I'm just me. See, when I'm doing a video like this, I just don't know what to talk about a lot of times. And so I just think. I'm sitting here fucking thonking, bro. It's just thonk, one after another. Not funk. Funk is an interesting genre of music, but not funk. Thonk. Uh, but yeah, I know. A lot of times I'm just with with videos like this. It will be when I do this kind of video. It is exclusively like a whole ass. Oh, I don't really know what to talk about. I don't have a script, a thought. I don't have a single fucking thought running through my head right now. I'm just talking, which can be cathartic a lot of times. I can recommend people to just talk out loud sometimes. Uh, it really does help me, at least me personally, feel a little bit like better if I'm feeling down sometimes. Just talking out loud, just to the air. Even if it's like a video like this, where I know a lot of times not many people are going to be watching something like this. Uh, it's just, I like it. It makes me feel better. But you've gotten a lot of silver lore today, I guess. I'm a rather scatterbrained individual, even though I'm apparently very smart, but I'm very scatterbrained. Uh, Probably somewhere on the spectrum. I know at one point, I was like diagnosed with ADHD, but my ma never put me on the medicine for it. Because at the time, it was basically just like, oh yeah, hey, let's put him on this medicine that's gonna make him go brain dead, basically. And my ma said no. That's not really what the medicine does. It makes you very calm, but I'm glad I never had to take it because it helped me realize in order to focus, all I need to do is just like move. You know, like even if it's a small movement, I just need to like tap my foot or, you know, when I was young, it was stand up and dance, kind of like at my desk. It was like a little wiggle that I would do. Uh, but I was a kid. I was like child, first grade, kindergarten, that kind of shit. It became an issue in first grade when my teacher really didn't like me. Uh, Very racist. Very racist teacher, by the way. Not even like I'm not a Mexican American. I'm not even like Spanish. I don't have any like real Spaniard in me. I probably do have some, but like I'm not that ethnicity. Native American. And this teacher, with all of her heart, said it with her entire fucking chest. Miss Mole. Her actual name, by the way. That's not a pseudonym. I'm calling this bitch out. Miss Mole says with all of her chest, uh, a Mexican girl asks her, this is a Mexican student, same age as me, asks her, why are you so mean to Silver over there? Why are you so mean to him all the time? And this is a light-skinned Mexican girl. Miss Mole, this teacher, who did have a giant fucking mole on her face, just says, oh, I don't like him because he's Mexican. Says it with her entire fucking chest to this girl. And because of that, like, that girl went and told her mom, because I hadn't told my mom. This was during corporal punishment was still allowed. So I would get sent up to the office every single day in order to receive corporal punishment. I would be paddled every single day. And what's really funny is That girl told her mom, uh, and her mom got so mad that she told my mom. And then my mom went up there and nearly went to jail because she was about to beat the ever loving shit out of this out of this teacher. Like 100% was about to beat the skin off of a teacher. uh, it's very funny. It's very funny to me. Uh but yeah, no. Um More lore drop for you. I've experienced very much. Uh, Honestly, the racism in the terms of like you're just fucking wrong. I'm not even that race. Like you're basing me solely because I have like tan skin. That is like wholly racist. I've probably said it in a stream what tribe of Native American I am, but I forgot. Cherokee, maybe? I want to say that's right. I want to say it's Cherokee. He's like he's one part of me, but I'm like pretty sure I'm two separate tribes. Pretty sure I have two separate tribes in my blood. But it could both be Cherokee, which would make me like just Cherokee. I just don't know. Because my grandfather was half and my grandmother was half Native American. I believe. Which would make my ma a quarter and me an eighth. You have two tribes, or a quarter, because that would make her still technically like half Cherokee. Because if they're both half Cherokee, if my grandmother and grandfather were both half Cherokee, it would like keep that. It would keep that that half, I believe. So then she would be a half, and I'd be like a quarter, because my father wasn't Native American, I don't believe, or at least I don't. I've actually never met my father personally, but I'm one of those dadless individuals. I got dadless behavior. It goes to show you the only person I called dad for a long time was my grandfather, who I'm named after. Uh, Great guy, my personal hero, an actual hero, despite him being an electrician. Like he worked on power poles, that was his job. But he's an actual fucking hero to a lot of people, because he would go out of his way to like save people. Uh, so actual hero, that man. But yeah, no, you just get more silver lore. It's weird that I'm like dropping the silver lore in videos that people aren't likely going to watch. Someone might see this one day and be like, "What? Huh?" But yeah, no, I am not 100% Native American. I've got other shit in me, but like I'm Native American. That is a fact. I could put that legally. I could legally get like Cherokee benefits if I went through the process, but I don't really want to have to like put that anywhere because I've put like Native American as my ethnicity before for like jobs and stuff when I could work. Uh, and by God, did I never get even a callback from any of those. So they weren't looking for a diversity hire. Oh, that's fucked up. Modern American day politics of work. I couldn't even be the diversity hire, man. Uh, but yeah, no, legally I could get benefits, but I'm not somebody who does that kind of stuff. Hell, even when I am not working, I don't even get unemployment. Uh, Even if I could, I just choose not to because I don't like that type of thing. I typically like to earn my money somehow. And so if I'm not like physically working, I'll do whatever I can to earn uh the money that I need for cats. Um so I do that kind of stuff. Like on my day-to-day stuff, I sometimes I'll like be out doing uh basically whatever I can to get the 1,000 a month to feed cats at the very least. It's a very slow process. Sometimes I don't like get quite enough, but I try to earn what I can for the cats. I actually don't have a good rough estimate of what it is. I assume it's like 1,000 a month because we buy cat food in bulk, and we buy good cat food. We buy both the dry and wet food because the cats like both. The dry food is to save a little bit because they'd eat a fuck ton of wet food. They would. They're all big cats. Um, so we supplement the like several cans of like wet food with we have dry food that is the bulk, and then the wet food helps. Uh, they like the wet food a lot. They like the goo as well. They like the goo from the cans. This is weird to say, uh, but they like the wet food on top of the dry food. They've gotten very much used to that. Uh, all of the cats do. I think the kitten can't eat the dry food yet, but gets wet food. The kitten. I still don't think we have a name for it. We get. I just call it kitten. Although I call every cat kitten because they're tinier than me. If there's a cat my height, I wouldn't call it a kitten. I'd call it a man. I would call it anthropomorphic if it was the size of me. But I call all cats kittens, even if they're older, because they're just cute. I like them. It's an endearing term for me. I don't call people kittens. That's just cringe. But yeah, no. I should probably sign off here. It's been what, 30 minutes? Yeah, just over 30 minutes. Um, well, let me get this stuff real quick. Let me get these bonuses. Never mind. The very next one was a times 10. Okay. Uh, well, thank you all so much for watching. If you like my just rambling, you can like, comment, subscribe. If you want to watch me play video games live, uh, specifically, I'm doing a Skyrim stream at the moment. Uh, it's going to be a long-standing stream. Um, if you want to interact with me, because you can watch it live here on YouTube or on twitch.tv/silvertategami plays, but I can only interact with my Twitch chat. So if you want to speak to me, or rather, if you want to type in chat and talk with me, you can do that through Twitch. Um, other than that, uh, if you, aside from that, if you want to donate to me to help me with a little bit of my daily bullshit, um, you can donate to me on Twitch. There's a Twitch link. There's a tip link on my Twitch. It's on my About page, uh, where you can donate at minimum $1. You can donate as much as you want, and it does show up who the top donator is. Uh, on my streams, there is a thing for that. Uh, but if you want to, you can do that. You don't have to. Um, that kind of money would be spent on my day-to-day needs, uh, such as getting a new phone, also probably saving up for assets for the stream, uh, that kind of stuff. That would be what your tip donations go towards. There's also my throne, where I have crowdfunding for a new laptop that would improve stream quality, and what games I could stream, because I'd really love to stream things like Armored Core, stuff like that. Games that are much like higher fidelity, things that take more processing power to actually stream. Because I own Armored Core, I wouldn't have to buy it. As well as, like, if I was getting paid, I could probably afford to spend money on some games that people want to see, or games that I would want to play. Uh, although that's not on my throne. That's not on my throne. That's just through like tip donations. But I have crowdfunding stuff for my model rigging and my it's for my model rigging and a PC, as well as some other stuff that's just for me on throne.com/silvertategami. If you want to know when I go live, as soon as I go live, you can follow me on Twitter at x.com/silverwriter7. Writer as in somebody who writes stories, not rider as in somebody who rides a horse. But either way, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.